For the Egyptians, death was not the most terrifying moment. The real fear came after they believed that when a person died, the soul began a dangerous journey through the Duat, the realm of the dead, a place of shadows, gates, monsters, and trials. At the end of that path, there he was, Osiris, seated on his throne, wrapped in bandages like an eternal mummy, his dark skin symbolizing fertile soil and decay, his eyes open, watching. Before him took place the most feared ritual of all, the weighing of the heart of the deceased, where memory, morality, and truth resided, was placed on a scale. On the other side, the feather of Mat, symbol of cosmic order and truth. Anubis, the jackal-headed god, guided the ritual. Thoth, the scribe of the gods, recorded the verdict. If the heart was heavier than the feather, if it was filled with guilt, lies, or sin, the soul was handed over to Ammit, a hybrid creature, part crocodile, part lion, part hippopotamus. Ammit did not torture, she did not judge, she devoured. The soul ceased to exist forever, no pain, no memory, no eternity. But if the heart was light, if the life lived had been just, Osiris granted something rare, eternal life in the fields of Aru, a perfect reflection of Egypt, where there was no hunger, no disease, no death. That's why the Egyptians mummified their dead. That's why they preserved the body. That's why they filled tombs with food, amulets, and sacred texts. They weren't honoring the dead. They were preparing to face Osiris. Osiris defeated death, but he paid a price. He never returned to the world of the living, never reclaimed his throne, never walked again under the Egyptian sun. His fate was to rule in silence, in the shadows. And maybe that's why his legend is so powerful. It speaks of betrayal, of loss, of love that defies even decay, and of the question no human being can escape. What happens after we die? For the Egyptians, the answer wasn't in the sky, but in a dark tribunal where every action of your life would be weighed. Osiris didn't need to punish. The scale did that for him. And while pyramids crumble, while pharaohs turn to dust, while names are forgotten, the legend of Osiris lives on, because deep down, we all fear the same thing, that our heart might be too heavy. If this story sent chills down your spine, if you feel that ancient legends hide truths that should never be forgotten, then you're already part of Urban Secrets. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, because here we explore stories that crossed centuries and still haunt those who dare to listen. And now I ask you, if Osiris stood before you today, would your heart pass the judgment? Thought. If humanity's first story of death and resurrection didn't come from modern religion, but from an ancient myth buried beneath the sands of the desert, imagine a body dismembered into 14 pieces, scattered along the Nile, a god betrayed by his own brother, and a wife who defied death, decomposition, and time to bring her beloved back, even if it was for just one night. The ancient Egyptians believed that this story was not just a legend. They believed it explained why we die and what happens afterward. But who was Osiris? Why did he have to die so brutally? And why, according to the priests, was his return never complete? Long before the pyramids became ruins, long before pharaohs were mummified with gold and curses, ancient Egypt already had stories of gods walking among men. For the Egyptians, the world was not divided between the natural and the supernatural. Everything was connected. The Nile River didn't just fertilize the land, it resurrected Egypt every year. Death was not an end, it was a passage. And the gods weren't distant. They felt envy, love, hatred, and a desire for power. It is in this setting that Osiris emerges, son of the earth god, Geb, and the sky goddess, Nut, brother and husband to Isis, brother to Set, the one who would change everything. Osiris was not a warrior god. He didn't rule through fear. According to the myths, he taught humans agriculture, laws, rituals, and how to live together. Under his reign, the world was fertile, just, and balanced. And perhaps because of this, he became a problem. Set, Osiris' brother, was the opposite. God of chaos, storms, the desert, and destruction. While Osiris symbolized order and renewal, Set represented everything that escaped control. Jealousy grew in silence. Ancient texts say that Set couldn't stand seeing Osiris loved by the people, respected by the gods, and ruling with justice. So, he began to plan. Not a war, but something worse. Set ordered the construction of a magnificent coffin, perfect in every detail, made to measure, for Osiris's exact body. At a grand banquet, Set presented the coffin as a gift. He said that whoever fit perfectly inside could keep the peace. One by one, the guests tried. None fit. When Osiris lay inside the coffin, the lid slammed shut, nails, seals, spells. Before anyone could react, Set and his accomplices threw the coffin into the Nile River. Osiris was dead, or so they thought. But the legend doesn't end there. The coffin traveled through the waters, carried by the current, until it vanished. Isis, Osiris' wife, refused to accept his death. She set out to find the body, alone, disguised, weeping. After a long journey, Isis found the coffin wedged in a tree, which had grown around it, enveloping it as if nature itself wanted to protect the dead god. She brought the body back to Egypt, but Set found out, and this time he went further. Filled with fury, Set tore Osiris's body into 14 pieces and scattered each part across Egypt, ensuring he would never return. It was the final end, or so Set thought. Isis, with the help of Nephthys and the god Anubis, traveled across Egypt, collecting every fragment of her husband's body, each bone, each limb, each trace. Only one piece was never found. Still, Isis did the impossible, using ancient magic, forbidden words, and rituals that, according to the priests, should never be spoken by mortals. She reconstructed Osiris. For one single night, Osiris returned to life, not as the god of the earth, but as something different. From this union, Horus was born, and Osiris never walked among the living again. He became the lord of the underworld, the judge of souls, the one who decides who deserves eternity. But the Egyptians believed that every time someone died, Osiris was waiting, silent, still, watching.